What's up, y'all? This is Damian Wilson, linebackers, Kansas City Chiefs. And shout out three-point conversion.
Ready? Okay, obviously coming off a tough loss, like I talked about after the game, a disappointing loss. SMU's a really good team. We expected to play better, and that was really what was disappointing to me. Happy to be back in front of our home crowd. I know it's very important to our players. Tough news, we lost Bryson Armstrong for the year with an ACL. That was a really tough blow. He's playing outstanding football. And so it's kind of next man up, and we've kind of been used to that all year, and we got 2 games left, and we need to finish strong. Questions?
Coach, I know a few weeks ago you were optimistic Dylan Gabriel could potentially return by the end of the season. I think it's 8 weeks since the injury. There's only 2 regular season games left. Are you expecting him at some point in these last 2 games?
We're hopeful. He practiced last night and practiced well, so that was exciting. Really the first time that been out there with the offense and all that, so we'll see how it goes, day to day and week to week, and we'll see what happens.
What is he able to do in practice at this point?
Yeah, he was able to participate in practice and do what a normal quarterback could do.
Coach, with everything that's gone on, the list of injuries, yourself even on the IR, all of that, and now at this point, what's the challenge for you coaching-wise to kind of manage health, but also preparing for these next 2 games and remembering you may have a bowl game going on? Kind of walk us through that, because it's safe to say this is probably a unique year for your coaching career, right?
Well, yeah, I think it's probably unique for everyone, with everything that's happened and the injuries to key players. But hey, it's next man up. We've been saying that for a while. We've been preaching to our team, and that's what's got to happen. The good thing is we're home the last 2 games. We played well at home. And so that's the good thing.
Coach, you said a couple of times that most teams don't get better in the second half of the season, but your team showed that it was. And then Saturday. What's most frustrating about what you saw Saturday?
Yeah, I think that you just said it. We were a team getting better. There's no doubt. Now, give SMU credit. They got a lot of really good players. There's no doubt. And we knew we were going to have to play well to go there and win. But, we didn't. We got off to a decent start and kind of snowballed on us. And, they beat us handily. And that was the disappointing thing for me. Our guys, like I said, we'll keep battling. We've got 2 home games left. And that's really the only thing on our mind is this week. We need to play good football this week. We need to get a victory and get some momentum for that last one.
Coach, I know you wanted to be on the field, but I know after the game you weren't real happy with the setup. After reflecting on that, is that something you'll continue to do, or just kind of like the dialogue over the next few days of your best position and where you need to be?
Yeah, we're actually talking through that and working through that. It wasn't a great setup. I mean, you're not down there on the field, and you can't talk to referees, and a lot of close calls. You're not down there, so that's just human nature, and that was a tough deal to experience that. Just being down there with my players, feeling removed. That was the first experience I've ever had in my life like that. I didn't like it, and so we're looking at a couple different options. We haven't made any decisions, but we are talking through some things.
One of the few bright spots on Saturday was Parker Navarro's touchdown. What did he show you in practice to get that opportunity?
Yeah, he's a great competitor, and you've seen him before, even in spring game, and he can really run. He can do some things, and he provided a spark. We were banged up. Joey Gatewood wasn't able to go, because of his ankle, and gave an opportunity for Parker to kind of fill that role, and that was also Bowser's kind of role too. So we were down 2 spots. It was next man up, and Parker did a good job, and but it didn't surprise anybody on the team. He's a really good runner, and he's been playing some special teams and just doing anything he can to help our team.
Coach, transitioning to this week against UConn, not too many positives for the team, but their offense features 3 or 4 running backs. So what do you like about the Huskies on film?
Yeah, they got some young, talented guys. I think a lot of freshmen they're playing. And we've got a quarterback I think that we played against in 19 that is a fairly talented guy too. So, but to be honest with you, this week's about us. That's what our message is. We've got to play better. We've got to coach better. And really, I expect our guys to do that. This bunch is resilient. They bounce back. We've had, an extremely tough loss similar to the one we had. They bounce back. We'll do that. We got a lot of winners in our locker room. Like I said, it's next man up, and you'll probably see a few more new faces, Saturday. But that's part of it. But we're looking forward to it. And I'll tell you this: practice last night. Our guys were excited to practice. They were excited about these last 2 games, and that's what you look for in a coach. That doesn't happen very many places, just so you know. I mean, this time of year when things don't go good and things start to snowball, not that it's snowballing here, but some programs it is, it's hard to recover, but it says a lot about our players. I know I've said that, sound like a broken record, but it's true. It's all about our players. I mean, coaches, we're going to be the motivators and everything that goes with that, but it's all about your players. It's about your leaders. If your leaders fold your tent, then it snowballs. If you don't, you still got a chance. And that's what our guys are doing. Our guys are fighting, they're competing, and I'm proud to be their coach.
You say next man up, but how challenging is it when you lose guys and you got, your game plan and what you're planning to do when you lose guy after guy?
Well, you got to truly believe next man up. It is what it is. When you lose guys, it's got to be the next guy up, and you as a coach got to know what you got and maybe what you don't have, and try your best to build around the strengths of what you do have. Try not to do the things you don't. So that's just part of being coaching. I mean, that's just part of coaching. And now, have I experienced this before in my career? Probably not, but hey, that's part of it.
In your coaching career, high school, Tulsa, Auburn, where you've been, have you ever coached from the box, or have you always been on the field as long as you've been?
Yeah, I think in high school I was in the box for one series, and I walked out. And so that's my extent of coaching in the box.
You don't like it?
No, I don't like it at all, and I really don't like that little deer sting I was on, platform bull crap, but we just tried to do the best we could, we were just trying to figure out, what is because I have trouble in crutches anyway, and so that was what we thought was best, and I said it wasn't real good.
Coach, obviously you guys have struggled a little bit on the road, but you get to finish the last 2 games at home. How good is that for you and your team?
Yeah, I think it's great. Our team, we've had some close wins here at home, and our fans willed us to win. I mean, just so impressive to play in this stadium in front of our crowd. And our players, I know they're excited to be back home for the last 2. And like I said, this is a big game for us. And we got to find a way to get it done this week, and then we'll cross that bridge, next week.
Coach, kind of along the same lines about playing at home. You guys had 1 road win, and you guys are undefeated at home. What kind of is the difference between the tale of those 2 tapes? We played 2 really good teams, I feel like, on the road. And, this conference, if you really look, it's tough to play on the road in this conference, and there was 2 really talented teams. And then there was a 3rd team that I thought was, Louisville's a good team too. Their losses have been pretty close. They had a good win last week, so it's 3 pretty good teams. You got to play well. You got to play well on the road, and we really hadn't done that but one time. But at home we played well. I think we're undefeated right now. We need to continue that.
Coach, what about losing Bryson? Is there anybody you're going to move into his spot from another position to have depth?
Yeah, Coach Tua, Jeremiah, he gets a targeting call, so he's out for a half or whatever. So I don't, it's next man up, and it'll be some good competition, in practice this week.
Mark Antony's made the most of his opportunities. What do you like about what he brings to your team?
Yeah, the thing about him, when he's been given the opportunity, he seized the moment. Really helped us win the East Carolina game. Made the catch on 4th down, broke the tackle, scored the touchdown. Last week we put him in cold. It was 4th and 1. He gets it. And then obviously he was the bright spot, or one of the bright spots of Saturday. And so he's ready. I think he's been waiting his turn patiently. And I think you can see him get more and more confidence every time he goes to the game.
UCF and UConn had been a conference game a couple of years ago. Obviously, it's a non-conference game. Now, have you been versed in the rivalry history of the civil conflict? Do you know much about that?
I got updated before the presser about it, but I didn't know anything about it before.
More on Dylan Gabriel. You said he practiced last night, I guess. I don't know if he's going to play on Saturday or what his plans are, but
in terms of like managing the quarterbacks? Like, is Mikey just understanding that, this is Dylan's spot, or how does that work? Or is it a competition?
Week to week, we're just crossing that bridge as we go. I thought Mikey's done a really good job up to this point. He's still learning as he goes, and he's done some really good things. But we'll take it practice by practice, week by week, and that's just really where we're at. I just want to say this: that was the first time Dylan's practiced. Okay, so but it was encouraging to have him out there with our guys and able to do the things that he was able to do.
I know UConn obviously hasn't had the best year, but just does anything jump out at you when you look at them on offense or defense? They're going through a coaching change as well. Yeah. Their defense, I think, plays hard. They got a defensive lineman. I think it's 57. He jumps off the film. Their linebackers are solid. With that, offensively, like I said, they got some young guys that I think have potential to be good players.
Mike, you close on a couple of those deep balls early in the game Saturday. You make those, and maybe you've got a different.
The last 2 weeks or whatever, or 3 weeks, we've really tried to push the ball down the field 2 out of the last 3 weeks, and just try to create more explosive plays, opportunity. We were close, and we'd like to have, maybe one or two more scores. But hey, that's part of it. We're learning as we go. Mikey's doing a good job. So we'll continue to do that.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Did you tell you about the trophy? This little conflict trophy a few years ago. Sorry if I threw it for a loop there.
No, I got it.
It's a running joke of mine.
I got it.
Anytime UCF and UConn play.
I got updated a little bit on it.
You knew it might have been coming.
That's all I know.
Okay, question for Quadric Baller.
How's everyone doing?
Doing
Project,
good.
how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I mean, I know a guy asked this, but he just walk out with crutches. I know you kind of ran into him celebrating. How bad did you feel after that, especially when you found out he had a broken leg?
After the hit, it was like I didn't realize who I hit until the coaches actually came down and sat down and told me who I hit. I felt like I messed up bad because I was like, oh, they're gonna make me pay for it in practice. But I didn't know how bad it was until he told us ourselves that he really broke his leg. Then I was like, man, I really just messed him up. Like I didn't intentionally try to, but just thinking about it, it got to me. But I was like, hey, you gotta keep going.
From your perspective, how did the elevated platform feel for you and the players on Saturday?
We're so used to, you talking about Gus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so used to having him, I would say, on the sideline, cheering us on and everything. It just felt like he wasn't physically there, having him walking around, because I'm used to seeing him walking up and down the sideline, whether it's offense on the field or defense on the field, so kind of excluded him.
What was it you saw on Saturday that was the challenge during that game that made it a tough game for you guys? And what are you going to take into practice to improve it this week?
I would say defensively it was tackling. We left a lot of tackles out there. We missed a lot of them that gave SMU explosive plays to get them to win. Offensively, I can't really speak much on it, but as a team, we just got to do better.
What was Coach Williams' message to you guys after the game and then before practice yesterday?
I would say after the game, Coach T. he was like, that wasn't our standard. But at the end of the day, we got to keep fighting because it's never over. You got to keep fighting to the end.
They always say next man up, and in every game something happens. Now Bryson Armstrong is out for the year with an ACL. Just one of many starters who have gone down. Is that really what it is? You just got to find the next guy to step up and just kind of move on and persevere.
Yeah, that's how football works. Man go down, next man up. For me, I wasn't supposed to be starting. It was supposed to be Derek Gaines, but he ended up getting hurt. Next man up, I had to step in. It is what it is. Bryson goes down. Next linebacker up, John Powell. He had a good game last week, and I feel confident enough to put him in there.
What have you seen from the other linebackers or the younger guys on defense, that impress you or anything like that, standing out?
I would say they're eager to prove themselves that they can fit into the defense and step up to the competition that the coaches put on them.
I know this is you play on defense. Dylan Gabriel's obviously on offense, but Coach, you guys said last night was the first time he's practiced period since he got hurt. How cool was that to see him, maybe slowly start to make that comeback?
I mean, it's a blessing to see him back because many players who go through injuries don't end up coming back, but it's a blessing to see him come back. I mean, seeing him work the whole week, throughout the weeks, over and over, even though he wasn't physically into the practice, he was in the practice doing something to get himself better.
You talked about next man up, seizing the opportunity. How have you improved over the course of the season?
I would say I've become more of a leader in some ways, but I need to improve. I would say my communication skills are average, but they need to be more than average for me to be successful and to help my defense.
Where do you think you've grown the most, just getting out there and playing? Because last year you didn't really play much outside of special teams, right? So just getting in there and playing almost every rep, where do you think you've grown the most?
I'll say my confidence has grown because last year when I first got out there, I wouldn't say I was scared, but I was really hesitant. I didn't know what I was doing. To me, it was just, I'm out here living the college experience as a college athlete. Now it's like this is a business, and I need to make a living for myself after this.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Quad.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you, Quad.
Questions for Mark Anthony Richards?
Mark Anthony, how are you?
Doing good about yourself.
Good. Yeah, I know you've played at various times this year. Obviously had, winning touchdown against ECU and here and there. But do you think maybe this past week, was that maybe kind of your breakout performance here at UCF, you think?
I think so. Going to the game, I was prepared. I think it showed, just the preparation through the whole week, with Coach Harris. He challenged us, throughout the whole week. He challenged us to step up as a group, and I think we did that.
What do you think you provide for the running back room, your size? I don't know if Isaiah Bowser's what his health status is, but what do you think you provide?
Versatility. I feel like I can catch the ball, can run the ball, can block, and I think that's what I provide. And, I think I showed flashes of that, the SMU game. So just going forward, just have to capitalize on this game and just keep fighting. Fight throughout the rest of the season. I think that's what matters most.
I don't know how much film you've gotten a chance to watch for UConn yet, but is this one of those games where the running back room's licking their chops a little bit?
We're all, going to each and every game, we're always looking to make a huge impact. So, going to this game, it's the same mindset, make a huge make a huge impact in the running back room. And, I know we'll be prepared going into this game.
What's this season been like for you? Just, I know you transferred in, and I know you're familiar with Gus already, but just kind of been a process, kind of getting comfortable and getting acclimated. Just kind of how's this progression been for you this year? I guess your second year playing college football.
I was already kind of acclimated to college, and it was, especially under Coach Miles, I kind of already understand how everything works and stuff. But just getting here, being around the guys, man, it was just refreshing. It's definitely inspiring. Just being around new faces. Well, not new faces. I was familiar with some of the guys. From back home, 7-on-7 and stuff, so just getting here and just working with these guys in the summer, it was just, inspiring, encouraging, and, it's a blessing to be here.
What was it like working under Coach Tim Harris and his style of coaching?
It's like a family, he's very inspirational, he knows how to get the best out of his guys, so for me, it's just, I'm learning from him, yeah, he's doing a heck of a job with us, honestly. We all look up to him, and blessed to have him here.
What was the 58-yard run? What play was that? You ran pretty well on that play.
Yeah, so it was a counter play. I think the most important, thing about that play was just patience. Having to have the patience to, read the gaps and, trying to move the backers. So, I was able to do that, and I saw crease and I just hit it.
What do you think of Johnny Richardson's style of running, and what is it like working alongside him?
They call him Johnny Rocket for a reason. He's very explosive. That guy can score from anywhere on the field. I feel like in this running back room, we all bring something to the table. He's so explosive. So just, watching him, just learning things from him, whether it's, mastering the dead leg or, whether it's utilizing the whole field, just, learning from him, as a player, is just, it's definitely helpful.
You said you knew some guys from back home, so you kind of knew some guys, some buddies on the team. Who did you know? Who were you familiar with already?
Man, like Amari Johnson, New, Tatum Bethune, Jemiah, who else? So many guys I can't even think right now. But those are just some of the few names that I was already familiar with when I got here. So yeah, when I came, it was already like a family for me.
When you see one teammate after another go down with an injury, what's the weight of that like in the locker room and amongst your teammates?
It's definitely, heartbreaking for sure. But I mean, for us, it's just like you see a guy go down, like you have to step up. You have to want to do it for them. They can't go anymore. Okay, we're gonna step up. That's the mindset. I feel like that's the culture, that's built here. And so, seeing guys like Bryson go down, it was just, it was definitely heartbreaking. But for me, and I know for this team, we were like, we're gonna do it for them. So going forward, these next few games, and that's the mindset.
What's kind of the vibe like? Gus was on that elevated platform. I mean, you heard him. He wasn't happy with the setup. He felt kind of disconnected. I mean, he wants to be on the field, but he kind of felt like not on the field at the same time. Is that kind of weird? What was that like as a player when you're looking around and not able to chase and follow you, and you kind of have to go over the table? What was that like?
It was a bit odd. As you're walking, up and down the sideline, you can kind of look up at him, see what he's saying, talk to him a bit. But we're used to having our coach, walking up to different position groups and really just helping us, communicating and. That's what you're used to. So, I'm quite sure going forward, they'll figure out some different strategy, to make that happen.
Gus said Dylan Gabriel returned to practice like last night. What was that kind of like? And was it a boost for you guys? And how did he look, or what was he doing?
DG looks good. He's back out there, and just doing what DG does. I mean, just seeing his process, through the injury, seeing how hard he fought to come back, I think that was just very encouraging for this team. But of course, he's a leader. We all knew that. Just having him back now, I mean, it's just it's very inspirational.
I know it's going back to last spring now, but when you made the decision to leave Auburn and come to UCF, obviously reunite with Gus, just what was that decision process like? Did you think long and hard about it, or when you found out Gus was coming in? I know you're a Florida guy. Was it kind of an easier decision?
I guess you could say it was an easier decision for me. I really just looked into it. I was familiar, like I said, with some of the guys on the team already. So for me, man, it was just it was awesome. I mean, I'm blessed to be here. Coach is here. It just seems like a perfect fit for me. I think at the time, that's what it felt like for me, and I don't regret it one bit.
Gus has mentioned the leadership of the captains, the seniors. How important has their leadership been?
Very important. When you're having injuries, left and right. Just having the leadership, that we have, is just, just keeping everybody, on the straight path. Nobody seems to be, losing focus whatsoever. Everybody's, dialed in. And that's a credit to our leadership. So guys like Sam Jackson, Brandon Johnson, DG, Big Cat, those are credit to those guys, just helping us all, stay locked in and, of course, setting an example. That's what they've done a great job of doing all this season, and we're going to finish strong for them, for sure.
Obviously, you're a talented runner, but pass protection when it comes to the college game, is that something that's maybe sometimes a little bit slower to pick up? You got to put in a lot of work with that, more film study. What's that like as a running back trying to become a master in that skill?
It's just like what you would imagine. Just extra film, and of course, just working and trying to perfect your craft. That's something that I definitely developed on from the time I got to college. To now, it's definitely something I grew on. Because something I'm gonna continue to improve on it, of course. But once again, I believe in my coach, Coach Tim Harris. I know he's gonna help me, get better at it as a running back unit. That's something we definitely work on every single day. So I'm definitely gonna improve, as the season progresses and going into next year, of course.
What does it mean just to have these final 2 home games? You want to get that taste out of your mouth from last week and to try to finish strong here and end the season on a successful note?
It's a blessing, to be back home, performing in front of our fans. I truly believe this is one of the most exciting atmospheres in all of college football. So just, having the opportunity to come back these last 2 games to perform in front of them, we have to finish strong. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're going to finish strong.
It's very obvious that you're close with a lot of your teammates. Are you surprised at how, quote unquote, together the team is? You've talked about that a lot today.
No, I'm not surprised. A lot of us, we're all from, similar areas. We're all from Florida, South Florida. And it's just, I know when I first got here, I think that was one of the first things I actually said to Coach, just how humble all these guys were and just, they're so, together in a way. So, I mean, just, it's no surprise to me, Just also, just seeing how they fought, how they worked so hard in the summer all together as a team, you can see why. So for me, that was definitely comforting, coming in and just feeling a family atmosphere, that's something that I'm used to. That's something, I grew up, idolizing. So it's a blessing to be here with these guys for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good job, Mark.